or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, "Hey, Marky"? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And there was one interesting thing about the announcement yesterday that made sense, edition. And a field trip to Milwaukee in this room that I think is where Gabe does all of his best work nationally. But it's kind of claustrophobic edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde, normally in Green Bay, instead at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue and the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. Riley Yauk is our cousin sub of the day for Jesse in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Riley, good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
And from his undisclosed location, he may not be the biggest, but he's one of the biggest Badger basketball boosters.
Oh, definitely not the biggest booster. Let's not get it twisted.
Well, supporter,
fan.
Athletic supporter.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan. Figuratively and literally, yes.
He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I finished the show up yesterday. Tried to get a little workout in and then watched, what we saw was a very disappointing game. It stung. I think from, you don't get these feels because you're not a fan, but when you're rooting for people and you see the full season unfold and you kind of see the team grow and all the things that we talked about with Mike Kelly yesterday and with, throughout the year with Gardo. I didn't even make my Final Four proclamation this year. So I thought I was doing my part. And to see us lose to a team we're better than, is just incredibly frustrating. And I felt sad because don't get an opportunity to watch these guys anymore selfishly. And then from the perspective of from Gardo and from Crappy and from the whole coaching staff who are all Badgers, for the team, for all the fans, the big booster, everybody involved that we celebrated with down in Chicago a couple days last week, it's a gut punch, and it should not have happened. And so I think here's kind of the range of emotions. I'm not angry. I've talked to a couple of my buddies that are Badger fans as well, and they're angry. I'm not there. Riley is probably even a bigger fan than I am. And so I'll be curious his thoughts, but there is a bubbling of frustration that I feel from our fans, whether it's on Twitter or just out and about, of the fact that Greg Gard-led teams can't get to the Sweet 16. We can't get out of the first weekend. And it's one thing if you get beat by North Carolina or Illinois, or we've consistently underachieved in the month of March in the postseason. And that is, I think we can spin that forward. There's been a lot of teams in the state of Wisconsin that have, and I think our fans are really frustrated and angry about both sides of it. I am only frustrated and sad. That's how I feel today, because a fun team that had, I don't know if we could have won the national championship, but this team was built to make a run and to have a really good March and get everybody excited. And, you know, like Matt Bowen said with his high school team, you're just trying to steal another week. I was hoping to steal another game, steal another week with this team because I really enjoy watching them. And unfortunately, there's no more week stealing. This thing is over. And that makes me sad.
And that was the one feeling that I had. I was sad for Greg Gard. I was sad for the players. I was sad for, Riley. I know how much Riley cares about this team. I know how much you care about this team. So I was sad for all of you guys. At the same time, you had the ball in the hands of your best player for your final two, full-fledged possessions. So I found myself thinking they put themselves in the position, and that's basketball, isn't it? I'm not the folks that are angry, I'm eager to hear from them because I know that they are out there. But, I watched the entirety of that game and thought, okay, they got off to a good start because High Point was clearly jittery and nervous. But you're right, they're a better basketball team than High Point University is. But welcome to March, right? The better team loses all the time in this tournament.
Yeah, but why? But the question is, why does it keep happening to us? We're not losing games in the Sweet 16 where Florida makes a shot and we have a back and forth. We're losing as 3 seeds. We're losing as a 5 seed. We're losing games. We're favored by double-digit points, and that's where the frustration comes. I think we could all live with, going and playing Duke or going and playing Arkansas. I think even at Arkansas beat us Saturday, you could look at it and say, that's an SEC champ. I get it. It is what it is. This season, unfortunately, the inconsistency that this team, the droughts, when you live with threes. Now, Boyd and Blackwell both got to the rack and scored some points. Winter did as well. But we're just we couldn't get stops. Give High Point credit. The dude hits his only 2-point basket of the year. He leaks out. We don't get back. And they hit a half-court shot. All of those things are fluky and they beat you, but you continue to have droughts where you didn't get a hoop for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and when you do that, you allow things like this to happen, and unfortunately, it's just happened too many times in the Greg Gard era, and I am never – there's a lot of people calling for Greg's job, and there's a lot of people angry. I get all of it. You can be upset. Greg Gard's done a really good job here. And I know people say, that's a loser's mentality. I think with the scenarios that he's been put in, we have had very good basketball teams. Now, if you want to critique his March coaching and how that goes, go for it. I'm not going to tell you can't, because the results, the beautiful thing about sports, results are results. You can have all the great processes you want, but you're judged on the results that you get. And the results have not been good enough for most of us Badger fans.
Well, and that was what I said to you last or early this week after you got back from Chicago, right? I mean, great win over Illinois and a great game in the eventual loss to Michigan.
Yeah, a smart loss. I thought it was a smart loss versus Michigan.
Right. But as I said, nobody's going to care if they don't get to the Sweet 16. And lo and behold, that's exactly where we are. So when we talk about his March coaching, I don't know. They have a pretty decent track record, actually, in the Big Ten tournament. But that's not what we're doing this for. Right? Nobody cares.
This is where I think today's show, I mean, Giannis, there's some Giannis news. There's, I know you want to get into what the hiring and the announcement of all the staff of the coaches, and I'm on board with doing that. But today, I want our fans, if you want to vent, however you want to put it, I am really interested, because this isn't just a Wisconsin Badger. If you want to just talk about Greg and the Badgers, that's great. But there is something, and I know Riley just texted that we have a caller that I think has illustrated a lot of where, I know I've gotten texts, I won't tell you which brother is saying, but in essence, just get used to being disappointed as a Wisconsin sports fan, because we're good enough to be where you can get your expectations high enough, and the same story repeats itself. We year after year, doesn't matter, outside of Giannis and throwing the 50 burger up, you're going to end up being disappointed if your whole mindset is championship. I don't feel that way. I love the chase of it, and am I disappointed when the Bears come back and score 25? Yes. When the Brewers fill their pants and can't win a game in the NLCS? Yes. Those things are all disappointing. That's how I think our fans are feeling, and I want to hear it. I'm going to lean on our fans today to help us get through. I am bummed still.
All right, so I want to get to calls after you tell us about Pella, and we can go all show long. A couple things. One, I do want to extrapolate it out into not just the Badger men's basketball team losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament yesterday. That is certainly part of the equation, but as you mentioned, the Packers' track record under Matt LaFleur. I saw lots of jokes on social media that this game was lost when Matt LaFleur delivered his pep talk to the Badgers after the game that he attended. There were some people that had a lot of fun with that. I do want to ask you one question before we go to calls, though, because unlike
Good.
Riley,
I want to ask you a question first, though. Okay. One of the texts I got yesterday was in essence saying Wisconsin has been blessed to have a bunch of stars in their sports. MVPs, right? We've celebrated the Rodgers, Braun MVP, Favre's MVPs. Jordan Love is not an MVP yet, but we're all thinking that he has the potential to do that. Giannis. We had stars that I know they didn't get All-American honors, but we've had this year's Blackwell and Boyd, the Killer Bees. Most people thought they were top 5 backcourt in the league. Mm-hmm. And the question I have for you is it we're leaning on those stars and they're not delivering in the big moments? Outside of Giannis throwing a 50 burger up and getting the championship, which was huge, the last 15 years – have our stars delivered? Because that's what this comes down to. You could say coaching and you could say all the other stuff, but that really was the question that this young man posed to me yesterday, and I thought it's definitely a question that I think we can answer, because our stars in yesterday's game didn't deliver when the money was on the table. They did
not. No, they didn't. Well, Giannis, since the championship, it feels like it isn't that he hasn't delivered so much that he hasn't played, because he's gotten hurt in multiple playoff series, right? When I look back on the Rodgers era, did he play well enough in 14 when he's playing with a torn calf and they get to a 16-0 lead? And he goes and gets them set up for the game-tying field goal after everything went to hell on the onside kick. Yeah, but do I also look at other playoff games that he played in where he did not play well enough regardless of the defense? Yes, I would say so too, right? There were games where
Jason, why does this keep happening? Because we feel snake bit. There are a lot of people, and I know, I think it's Mitch and Oshkosh is on the line. There is this feeling of inevitability. We're going to be really good, and then we're going to rip our hearts out as fans. That's the
So I'm going to ask you my question now then, okay? Because I think this ties into this, and then we will talk about Pella, and then we'll get to all Mitch and everybody else. You're the only one who's been the man in the arena. And you made that joke after our Name That Tune. But the fact of the matter is, you have been the man in the arena. I've been the man sitting at press row in the arena. I don't know, and from my perspective, having covered this many teams over the years, and not just, look, I covered the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals with the Bucks, right? When they were a Game 7 away from going to the NBA Finals. So I've seen Badgers teams. I've seen, obviously, plenty of Packers teams. But I haven't been in the game. I think it's really blanking hard to win in the postseason. No matter if you have stars or not, no matter how good you are in the regular season. And there are some people that have been the man in the arena and delivered, like Tom Brady. And there are a lot who haven't. And I feel like we, because these are our teams and we are Wisconsin people, we feel snake bit. But there are probably a lot more fan bases that feel similarly about their failings of their teams, because it's really blanking hard to win titles. And it's really blanking hard to win in the postseason.
So, agree, it is very blanking hard, but you know what else is really hard? Is to have great players year after year position yourself to get there and have chances. A lot of these cities and franchises don't even have chances, and if it is, it's one. That's not the case. We have, the Packers' motto is, give yourself a bite at the apple every year, and for the most part, they have. The Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, from 2018 till probably, I don't know, whenever that hot potato game was, you gave yourself chances. They got one. Should have had more. Badgers, same thing. You have great backcourt this year. You have a good enough team. Was it a championship team? Obviously 14 and 15 was. We didn't get it. So there's a difference in what we have. Obviously other fan bases are going to feel snake bitten, but what we have that's different, we're good enough to do it. We have the goods, and we're not. That's why we feel as fans more frustrated, and some of that anger and that bitter disappointment, because we're not. Did you hear fans in the 70s and 80s saying we're snake bit? No, they're saying we sucked.
Because you're never
and
in
how
a
can we
position
get back
to do
over
that.
it?
Right.
Did anybody in the 2000s without Giannis say, boy, the Bucks, we're really snake? No. That's why I think, and this was the other thing, we only got one coach that's worth a lick in this state. And that's Pat Murphy. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Pat Murphy, we had the best record in baseball last year. We got swept out in the NLCS. Is that expectations? We've went through that discussion. Mm-hmm. So there's just this overall feeling that the Brewers and that payroll aren't going to be judged as harshly as everybody else in our sports landscape. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If that's what we want to do, that's great. But in general, the Brewers have positioned themselves. We have been in position. That's really hard to do. Of course, winning a championship, things got to go your way. Yesterday wasn't, nothing went our way.
No,
we didn't rebound. Mm-hmm. We didn't rebound. Like there were reasons, and our warts showed up at the worst time yesterday. That's what happened. And I get our psyche as a fan base. I can understand the snake bit and frustrated because we're looking at, outside of Giannis winning a championship in 21, we're looking at a lot of pain from a fan standpoint because they're in a ton of pain when you're a middling team and you miss the playoffs. There is when you're positioned to win and you don't, and that's where the pain comes from.
All right, we'll get to calls here next after Tausch tells us about Pella. I would also quickly add this so we can get to calls. The getting a bite at the apple every year, I personally agree with it. I watched a team that was the 6th seed your final season in the NFL go win a title because they got the bite at the apple, barely, but they got the bite. I do think you can contrast that with what the Bucks did, who, after they won a title, said, this isn't going to be good enough. We have to do a bunch of different things. And it imploded, and now they're about to lose their star this coming off season, most likely. They've stretched out an onerous contract that they signed a guy who is now, 37 years old in Dame. Like, we were all on board with that. Remember, Dame time.
Yep.
But
Yep.
There's also the argument if you're using this discussion from a Packers perspective, you can say, hey, we never really went for it, or whatever you want to argue, because the quarterback can't do it all.
That's a bunk argument.
I understand, but there are those that view it that way as well. So whatever the reason is, our Wisconsin teams get to the opportunity to go have a chance. But whether or not they actually make the most of that chance, that has not been the case for the last 15 years, with the exception of the Bucks. On the other hand, when you have a chance to get Pella windows and doors of Wisconsin, do not squander it.
And you have a chance on top of a chance right now. You know, our homes need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin year-round. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything that they do. The right windows and doors will vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. And with Pella, you will get expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and within your budget. And you get 6 years. It'll be a lot of heartbreak in Wisconsin sports the next 6 years. 0% financing all the way to 2032. This offer ends at the end of March. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Lists is more. What do you feel today? I think is the simplest question to ask. Frustration, exasperation, anger, sadness, and not just about the Badgers. You don't have to be a Badgers fan to feel that way about Wisconsin sports teams in the postseason. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Lists is more. We'll have more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes. because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Homer here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I've been on the journey since January and I've already lost 20 pounds, 10 to go by the end of March. If you're looking for a safe and easy program, it's actually easy. They'll actually help you keep the weight off. This is it. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. And for a limited time, $200 off with the spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Seven 3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line. This is more. I'm struggling with my framing of my video. Let's get to your calls. You've waited long enough. We'll begin with Mitch in Oshkosh. Mitch, thanks for holding on, buddy. Good morning. How you feeling?
I could be better, but yesterday was almost a little bit of a double gut punch because the UW Oshkosh women's basketball team lost in the Final Four, and I am a former Titan athlete myself, so that definitely did not make anything better. But
yeah, that was a bummer for me.
I was listening to the game on the radio because I was working, and after the game ended, normally in the past when postseason losses come for Wisconsin sports, you want to be mad and angry, but yesterday I just had this feeling of I was confused why I wasn't angry at first, and I've come to the conclusion that, I'm not surprised, and it's almost getting to a point with Wisconsin sports where it's almost expected. And I think the proper term to label it for Wisconsin sports in the postseason is almost an accident waiting to happen. And I get it. It is super hard to win. It is super hard to win championships. I get that. And I know, Jason, you were alluding to it, but it's not losing in general in the postseason. It's how you lose. And it just feels like one way or another, the way we lose, we just flat out embarrass ourselves, whether we completely shrink in big moments or we blow big leads. And regular seasons in Wisconsin sports are so fun to watch, and I will continue to watch them, but I think I'm just starting to get this feeling that whenever our teams are going to be in the postseason, it's just like, all right, when is it going to happen? It's going to happen at some point. And it sucks to think that way, but I just can't help it. That's the feeling I'm just starting to get.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Mitch. Especially considering, again, having been a former Titan athlete, you've been in the arena too, right? So you do understand that it's difficult. And Tausch talks all the time about the Brad Childress-ism of give yourself a chance to have a chance. So the Packers, the Badgers, they give themselves a chance to have a chance. And then they rip.
Hey, Jason, can I interject for a second, too?
Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
So I think I've especially developed this feeling, too, because I went to Arrowhead High School. I was on the football team that lost to Kimberly in that snow game that gave up that big lead. And then I played football at Oshkosh, and we also gave up that lead to Mount Union in the semifinals. So I think maybe for me, it's just I'm just more prone to feeling like this, too.
So, Mitch, before we let you go, why? Why do you think this keeps happening to Wisconsin sports teams?
I think just in the last few years, I don't know. And maybe it's something to do with the social media era or something. I just feel like we've just come to be all talk. Like, it's like, oh, at some point they're going to turn it on or it's going to be different. Those players' tribunes that come out for the Brewers saying that this postseason is going to be special. I don't know. I just feel like maybe like somehow our players are getting the impression that somehow it's just naturally going to happen on its own, or I don't know. I don't know if there's really any definitive answer, but it's like I said, I just feel so sad and guilty feeling that way, but it's to a point where we can't help it.
Yeah. Mitch, appreciate the call. The accident waiting to happen when go back to that Bears game, man. That 100%. When we didn't get that, he's 100% right. That was that thing you saw that car crash unfolding. About the end of the third quarter. Yesterday, kid hits the three from the half court. You're like, oh boy. And then you start feeling that, and I guess there's another question. Maybe do players feel that? Are we overrating our teams? Or do we think that we're always championship and we're not? I think maybe this Badger basketball team, we're all excited. The bottom line is they were the fifth best team in the Big Ten. We lost to USC. We got trounced by Oregon. Like championship teams, they'll have a blip. So maybe this basketball team, maybe I'm guilty of overrating how good they were. They're a 5 seed, 4 seed, or 5 seed, whatever it is. So maybe it's part of it. Our expectations. I think it's a different conversation to me with Green Bay, but maybe we're overrating. I'm just trying to find solution. I want answers to why we feel the way that we keep feeling, because our fans are starting to, in droves, feel the way that Mitch does, which is car crashes waiting to happen, snake bitten, because it keeps happening. And we're sitting here and we keep thinking it won't, and now people are starting to say, well, let's have a great regular season, and then the question is why? Why is it happening?
What would you rather do? Would be my other question. Well, would you rather not be in these positions and save yourself the disappointment?
No, you want to win. What do you mean, what would you rather do? I want to win.
Yeah, Tausch, I know you want to win, but you're not winning. So would you rather have what you have now, or would you rather not even be in the mix to save your save your feelings?
I get it. Jason, would you rather not be vulnerable and end up meeting Paula and getting married, or would you rather just sit at home eating Cheetos and snow blowing your yard? That's kind of the same question. Of course you want to put yourself out there, and you have to deal with it. But at some point, I think we're also looking at it. You don't want to get so jaded that you're going to just stop enjoying all of it?
No,
because
my
we're
point
getting
is,
gut punched
so
at the end?
For example, how many Big Ten teams, Big Ten men's basketball teams, have won the national championship since the Badgers lost to Coach K and the officials in 2015?
How many teams?
Yeah.
Not that many.
I don't know if any Big Ten
COVID
teams.
year, we won the national championship. No, the COVID year we won. One of those Bleacher Reports or somebody gave us a national championship.
ESPN BPI national champ. So
yeah,
the BPI.
They hung the banner. It was great. I just want to take more calls because I'm not qualified for this conversation because I look at it from the
Riley, why do you think this does keep happening from a fan's perspective? Because you've been in it, you've now been watching, and you're all in on Badger stuff, but you're also. Why do you think? Is there a common denominator? Social media. I think there is a part of social media. It's adding another layer of pressure to players. I know that. But other teams and cities are finding a way. I'm just trying to. I'm in a search mode today, people. I'm in a search mode.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that's the thing. High Point, they were reading the press clippings. They had to hear on the National Selection Sunday broadcast, Clark Kellogg picked them.
You better play us now.
Exactly.
You better play us now.
Exactly. And we had a text. I'll go back and find who it was. But a similarity between Matt LaFleur and Greg Gard. They're nice guys, but they can't get it done in the postseason. Like, they're really good dudes. You want them to win. You root for them. Easy to root for. But there's not that edge. Like, there's not that killer instinct. Like that High Point coach. I hate that dude. Now, Flynn, whatever his name is. But that dude's, like, he was angry.
Arkansas is going to
I can't wait to see Darius
Arkansas is going to trounce him, and we'll see how that goes.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I'm very excited to watch that, too. But he looked like a douchebag, but he won. Ben Johnson's a douchebag, but he won. So maybe that's it. Exactly. That's the thing. So I don't know. I'm also looking for answers. I didn't even know. I was fuming yesterday, but I didn't know who to be mad at. Nick Boyd dropped 27 points. Sure, he missed some layups down the stretch. John Blackwell dropped 22, even though he disappeared in the second half. Greg Gard, I didn't feel like he coached an awful game. He gave Andrew Rohde options at the end on that inbounds play. It didn't work out. I don't know. I'm also baffled. And Greg Gard, I love Greg Gard. I don't think we should fire him. But he seems to be, him and his staff, the only common denominator between this season and the last 9 seasons where they haven't made the Sweet 16. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
The search for answers continues. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line. Lists is more. We'll get to more of your calls after Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. I didn't even realize this. That's only 14 years since the last national championship for Wisconsin basketball. Right? 1941. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
We'll get back to your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Brewers baseball is in the air.
And a swing and a... Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is ready to slip someone into a green jacket. The next tournament of the season is here, and there's $1,000 in cash prizes. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, inviting you to a two-man scramble at Georgia Golf Club, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious, state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and all teams must compete their round by March 31st. Who's walking away with the cash, and who's earning that green jacket?
Looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going? Head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall. Home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination, 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall with 24 beers on tap, over 50 HD TVs, and of course, game day specials. It's the perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is the downtown home to basketball this March.
This is Coach Greg Gard. Strong teams succeed with the right partners. Bank CMG works closely with Wisconsin business owners, offering local insight, modern tools, and honest guidance you can trust. They take the time to understand your goals and help you build something sustainable. Whether you're managing cash flow, planning for growth, or navigating change, having the right banking partner matters. When your business matters, your bank should too. BankCMG.com.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, CUNIS is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with CUNIS of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 CUNIS Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of driving Milwaukee forward at the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CUNISMKE.com. That's CUNISMKE.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Fisco, Fisco, Fisco is always Fisco, Fisco.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Back to the phones we go. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's talk to Josh in Kenosha. Josh, how you feeling today, buddy?
Good morning, guys. I'm not as devastated as most are, because when it comes to the Badgers, I learn to accept the disappointment. Now, you guys know me. I am a Chicago fan when it comes to the pro teams before, anything else. But when it comes to college sports, I would say I'm a Big Ten fan more than a specific team. But I've always had a soft spot for the Badgers because that was the first program I really started watching back in the 90s more football than basketball. But when it comes to the basketball program currently, I think it's kind of they're multi-level. Part of it is social media stuff, buying into the hype, believing you're better than you actually are, not putting in the work. Like, I think they underestimated their opponent yesterday because you could tell at stretches they looked like they were not putting in the effort that they should have when they were up, 8 points with a few minutes left. Like that's where you close it out. That's like time back to the Packers. You were up 21-3 at halftime. You were up 21-6 at the end of the third. That's when you need to close the door and put teams away that you should beat. And I'm not sure why they seem to fell apart yesterday like that. It boggles my mind. And look, Greg Gard has proven to be a good, stable coach. But with the postseason things, I think it's also another problem with the portal and NIL era. You don't have time with these kids to truly develop a cohesive unit. Most college kids are one and done to the NBA or whatever else, which I think that's a dumb rule. They need to be in college for at least 2 years, especially if they're getting paid. It's just these kids transfer because the wind changes direction. It's so willy-nilly, and it's not fair to a lot of these other kids who want to go and try to build something or actually work toward achieving a good goal. And
so
I don't understand why. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was watching some of the interviews afterward yesterday, and look, I don't know John Blackwell at all. I don't know Nolan Winter. I don't know Boyd. I don't know those guys. So I have no idea how they were truly feeling, and I am going to talk about a big picture question that I find myself asking, because I don't one of the secrets, dirty little secrets of sports is that players compartmentalize the disappointment of losses much more quickly and move on much more quickly than fans do.
Regular season, I agree. Postseason, I would disagree with that.
Depending upon how you lose those playoff games, having been in the locker room clearouts, and maybe you are unique, but there are certain guys that they compartmentalize it, and then they are off to their off season, and they're disappointed, but it certainly doesn't linger. And whether that's because they have millions upon millions of dollars because they're well paid, or because they just understand that it's hard to win and, hey, we should have won that game, we didn't, there's nothing I can do about it now. But I'm telling you, being around enough athletes, they move on quickly. Now, I'm not saying that the Badgers did that, but when I watched their interviews, and then I think back to seeing some of the teams that they played together for a long time, and then they felt the disappointment together, it did feel different to me. And again, I don't know if that's because of the transfer portal and you haven't spent 5 years in a program like the Mike Kellys and Andy Kowskis did, but I do think that all that stuff factors in to where we stand in college sports. The NFL, I don't know if it's applicable, but there does seem to be the ability to compartmentalize and say, it sucks we lost, but hey, this is on to the next. And I don't think fans operate that way. I just don't. 844-770-3776. Thanks for the call, Josh. We appreciate it. Let's go to Chris in Fitchburg. Chris, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you feeling?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good.
First off, let me say, been listening for a long time, so thank you for keeping us entertained and informed over the years.
Well, thank you.
But
you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Yeah. But this just feeling at this point just discouraged and kind of confused as to why the Badgers and Wisconsin sports overall just can't seem to get it done. Like every year in March Madness, you watch teams go on these magical runs, and sometimes they're teams you've never heard of, or teams that have on paper way less prestigious of a program. Like a couple years ago, NC State went on a Final Four run, and you just think after all these years, all this so-called success they've had, that they would make a run one of these years. So I'm just getting discouraged and confused. Like, why can't they? Why can't they put it together?
Well, quick question for you before we let you go. Do we overrate our sports teams?
Sometimes I think there's a tendency to overrate, but I mean, look at the Brewers this year or last year. They were the best team in baseball. They're the best record in baseball. So sometimes they're properly rated. This year, Wisconsin basketball, they were just an up and down team because, obviously they went into Michigan, beat them, went into Illinois and beat them. You could say they had some of the best wins in the country. But then they also
went to Oregon and lost. Right.
Yeah. Well, got blown out by Nebraska. So, just wondering why not us. Look at other sports. Look at even the Super Bowl this year. Look at New England. They went on a run, and when they got to the Super Bowl, it was clear that, they didn't even really belong there. But they got there, and that's the thing. So, just confused and discouraged that Wisconsin teams, especially basketball, can't really seem to put together a run and do something special.
Good call, Chris. We appreciate it, and thanks for the kind words.
I think that word, Jason, is the one that probably fits. There is this level of discouragement with the expectations that our star players and our teams have compared to what they do in the regular season and the postseason. And your question earlier about would you be better off not having that and just being middling, and obviously that answer to me is no. You're going to, when you continue to have this happen repeatedly and in all sports, there does become a boy cry wolf type deal. I feel like we're in that wolf stage right now. Oh, the Packers can win a championship next year. Oh, can they? The Brewers can win a championship. So right now, until a wolf shows up at your door, you're going to probably think there ain't a wolf. There's the boy crying after a bad loss to High Point.
To your point about the Brewers and the expectation.
You didn't like that? You didn't like that one? I think came full circle.
I did like the wolf reference. I did.
I could use a little encouragement today. I'm discouraged.
Clearly.
Discouraged, the right word. Riley, was that good? Jason's not giving me my flowers today. Riley, was that good?
I'll be honest, Tausch. I was talking with Don from the UP, so I didn't hear it.
All right, great stuff. What a slap in the face today's show is. Go ahead, Jason.
My question about expectations to the person who the only reason he didn't proclaim this a Final Four team was because the head coach asked him not to.
No.
Because I watched the video of you strut. I watched the video of you strutting around Chicago after a couple of Coors Lights, walking back to your car to get your suitcase or whatever it was. You were feeling pretty high on this team.
I was feeling good. Not Final Four good, though. Not Final Four good.
So you're telling me that you did not proclaim them a Final Four team because you did not believe them to be a Final Four team, not because Greg Gard told you we would like you if you didn't.
That is correct.
Okay.
I was very
Did you think
concerned, if I may, I was very concerned that we couldn't stop people. It's cute to score 90. It's cute to score 85. It ain't cute giving up 83.
Yeah,
and at some point, you can't get 6 in a row if you aren't able to stop anything on a consistent basis. And the droughtage, the amount of times that we'd have droughtage and we'd play. I was at the Minnesota game. We couldn't hit the broadside of a bull. Couldn't hit anything. Barn, bull, whatever. Whatever it was. So there was too many lapses to think that we were going to run. I guess you need to win, 4 to get there? Now,
to get to the
tell
Final
you that
Four,
I wasn't inching that way. I wasn't inching when I'm strutting around Chicago with the trains rolling by me and all this other stuff. Yeah, I was itching. But there was something that just kept telling me, Nolan, I don't know how healthy he's going to be, and if we aren't shooting at a really high clip on three-pointers, we're going to get our blank beat.
Right. It's what we said.
That's how I felt.
We had that conversation with Mike Kelly yesterday. I referenced Miami University. Won't call them Miami, Ohio.
Thank you.
Like,
Appreciate
again, 3-point shooting, you live and die by it. Mike, the reason I ask this, so we can take a break and get some more calls. Like, I don't know about you, but even with the best record in baseball, did I ever think the Brewers were going to win the NLCS when they were matched up against the Dodgers? I did not. I thought maybe they'd win a game, but I think they were the expectations that I had. And I would have loved for them to shock the world, but I didn't think they were that good. After the Packers lost Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft, and then Zach Tom, and then Edger and Cooper, was I still stunned that they gave up 25 fourth-quarter points? I was. Did I think they had a Super Bowl team after that game in Denver? I did not, and I said it the next day on this program. So your expectation question is a good one because expectations have to be adjusted during the course of a season. And there were times during this basketball season where you were feeling really good about what this team was. Mm-hmm. And then you saw moments where you adjusted those expectations. You just proved the point by saying you didn't hold back. So to your question about expectations, I think that you're onto something there in your search for understanding.
So I believe what you're saying, and you don't want to get clipped, is you think Wisconsin sports fans have unrealistic expectations. That's what I'm feeling.
Not always. No, not always.
But this
the
Packers team you did, and I do believe that is what you're you're dipping.
I always enjoy it when you tell me
trying to say it. Just say it.
I
is
thought
what you're saying.
When they had won, 5 in a row going into Denver, I was on the bandwagon of Super Bowl expectations. I was, even without Tucker Kraft, because I had seen what Christian Watson had done to change their offense. And Love was playing really well. I liked where they were trending. And then I adjusted those the minute I saw Micah Parsons hobbling.
And in
around,
fairness, fans shouldn't have to adjust, but maybe they should, and then they won't be as hurt. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And look, being a fan, you have every right to do that. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're not going to adjust the expectations and you're not going to take I mean, the idea of me being unbiased is a bit of a fallacy, but as close to unbiased as I can be, I do adjust expectations. And I do have years of experience with teams.
First off, nobody says you're unbiased. Like, people say you're not a fan. Nobody says you're unbiased, by the way. You might think that, but nobody out there in this sphere thinks you're unbiased. Go ahead. Just to put the record straight.
I appreciate you getting that in there. Maybe the better word is unemotional about teams.
Yeah.
Maybe not unbiased. And so if you're going to choose not to recalibrate your expectations when stuff happens that either tells you, okay, maybe these guys aren't that good, or they lose players that are important to their success, if those things happen and you don't recalibrate your expectations, then you deserve to get hurt to some degree, right?
Okay. Oh.
Because if you watch the Badger men's basketball team throughout the season and you truly believed, like somebody put in their bracket that they were going to win the national title, and they fall short of that expectation, you chose to put yourself out there that way. Now, did you get to what you deserve for them to lose to High Point? No, you did not. That is a game they should have won that game, and they should have played better defensively, and rebounding, which would have allowed them to win the game. They failed to do that. That happens sometimes. But this idea of unrealistic expectations, I think at times they are overinflated. I don't know if they're unrealistic.
Well, I'll say this. It's either one or the other. Either our teams are overrated or we have too high of expectations. Because we've been good enough to get more than what we've gotten. And I know I don't need to continue to pound the phrase winning is hard, getting a champ. We all know that, and if you don't, I can't help you. But we have been in position in every sport to get it done, and we haven't. And that's either we just have thought too much of our teams or our expectations are too high. It's got to be one or the other.
We'll get to more of your calls coming up. Remember, spring is finally here, which means open your windows, get the fresh air, and suddenly you'll be noticing that your couch might have seen a few too many seasons. That's where Steinhafels comes in. During the Get Ready for Spring sale, you can save 10% or more store-wide on great furniture for every room. Sofas, dining sets, bedroom pieces, all of it. And right now they're offering 0% financing for 60 months. I think that's 5 years. 5 years. So not necessarily 2032, 2031, I guess that would be. So you can upgrade your place now and spread out the payments over time. Check out Steinhafels today, in-store or online at steinhafels.com. More of your calls on the Carbless Talk and text line next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A very hearty hello to you good people out there. I'm Ruth from Hurricane Bank. I suppose you thought I was in Downpatrick in County Down, but I'm right here in the Mayfair Collection branch of Hurricane Bank. Did you know that Hurricane Bank has been serving people like your good selves for 130 years? So they're good at it. Come on in to any of our 20 branches and see for yourselves.
Member FDIC.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
You ever notice that some people are picky when it comes to their beer? But Yuengling gets it. That's why they brew a beer for every taste. Start with a legend, a Yuengling traditional lager, a smooth amber lager that's been around longer than our great football rivalries. Then there's light lager. It's crisp and easy drinking. Golden Pilsner with a clean, refreshing taste, and the Black and Tan, a perfect blend of porter and Pilsner. Whether I'm tailgating, watching the game at a sports bar, or just kicking back, I'm reaching for a Yuengling. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DJ Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
You've always been competitive at work, in the gym, even with your kids. But lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Get right back to your calls. Don't have quite full phone lines, but we're getting close. So if you haven't called in and you don't mind waiting on hold, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. An addendum to your how are you feeling question. Snake bit, sad, whatever it may be. But do you think that maybe our
discouraged is the best word I've heard so far.
Even though I've never heard it pronounced that way. Do you also feel
get out more.
Like are our expectations too high? That is a corollary question for us today. Let's talk to Paul in Kiel. Paul, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good. Hey, first time caller, long time listener.
Nice.
I guess where I get frustrated is
discouraged.
All the Wisconsin sport teams come out of the barn, script their plays, script their design, whatever, and they blow the first 10 minutes out of every game. They just look really, really good. I think they got to stop doing that at practice and start teaching these people how to end a game, step on the opponent's throat. We got to be a little bit more Ben Johnson. We got to be a little bit more a horse's hinder, long story short. And stop being all the teams in Wisconsin are the Milwaukee Bucks of the 1980s and 90s, where, hey, it's good to make the playoffs, fans, but we're done. We're going to go away now. And last thing, Tausch, your wolf analogy was good. And
thank you.
The bracketology the other day, you could tell Jesse that was terrible.
Yeah, it was. He knows. I think he knows. Thanks for the call. That was so
great call, Paul.
Basically what Paul was saying there, Jason, is do we have enough coaches in the last 20 years that have had the swagger and the edge? Because players win games. No doubt about it. But the mentality and the tone that is set is by the head football coach. Barry Alvarez, Swag City, USA. Mike Holmgren, I'm guessing, Swag City, USA. Like, there was a respect, and talking to Frankie, like, there was Swag City. No? You tell me, Jason. You covered Mike Holmgren.
Well, yeah, but here's my problem with that. And I would ask you, since you played for Mike, with this, step on the throats, be a horse's hinder as a coach. Yeah, Mike Holmgren had that. He didn't have it in Super Bowl 32, apparently. Didn't have it in 1998 when they lost to the 49ers. So does that mean He isn't a good coach because they lost the Super Bowl and lost a first-round playoff game.
Coach.
Okay, Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. You played for him. Was he sufficiently a horse's hinder? Did he not step on throats like the meltdown in 2014 was a lot of things. I don't know if it was Mike McCarthy's approach necessarily.
Well, some would say not going for the gusto and going for touchdowns instead of field goals was something. Now, I agree that that game was lost for numerous reasons. I did not put that one on coaching. I put that one on players not executing. That's how that shook itself out. But the general point there was coaches do set the tone. And for whatever reason, Wisconsin sports teams, particularly obviously yesterday's game, but in general, we always look at things through a Packers prism, are we in that dog? I think Zaire Franklin's brought in because he's a dog. I think he's brought in for his doggedness. And we'll see. I don't know him, but that seems to be a big part of his game. That mentality, it does trickle over, and there is a need for it in times when they're tough. And I would guess Greg Gard and everybody else, and I heard Frank Kaminsky on KBN yesterday, and I don't know if we can get that audio at some point during the show, Riley, but he basically was saying it's very difficult to get a cohesive unit in 6 months where you can weather the storm. This team, for whatever reason this year, they did weather some storms, but when the pressure and the money was on the table, did we have that early on the season chemistry wasn't there because they hadn't played? I thought that had come a long ways. But yesterday, when we really needed it, it wasn't there. And I don't know the solution to that with this new system. I don't know if anybody is going to have that. You need to have that one, and that's why I love Boyd. He did take the big shot. Unfortunately, High Point said, we'll send 3 guys at you because we know you're going to take the big shot, and you can't even get it off. So I don't know if I'm even feeling any better listening to everybody's. I'm more confused, I'm more discouraged than I was before. Why do you keep giving me this look? I keep feeling, are your mic out or what? You keep giving me this look like, well, what is that? What's that look?
I think there's a delay in Milwaukee, so I don't want to jump in right away and cut you off. So it's a
look. It's not a pause. It's a look. You're giving me a look like, what do you mean you don't know what you're feeling? Well, I don't. But I do.
No, well,
that's why you didn't laugh at that wolf. That's why you didn't give me the compliment on the wolf. You got a little delay. Okay, now that's starting to make sense.
Indeed. I'm fighting through it just like we're fighting through our feelings. Tausch, UW, things did not go well for their men's basketball team, but UW Credit Union is always the right choice.
Indeed it is, and for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals, and you know what? UW Credit Union, I love their mobile app. It offers a simple way. Check accounts, make transfers, and more. That is a smart play from the pocket. And I had our buddy from UW Oshkosh call all throughout the state. UW Credit Union is in every community, and they're out doing great things. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions do apply.
All right, we've got a bunch of callers. I want to get to you. I want to also get to those of you who have texted in to the Carbless Talk and Text line. We will start the 10 o'clock hour in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Get your green and gold off-season fix right here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with more of your calls, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Quick question, since I did not take in as many games as I normally would on the first day of the NCAA tournament. Were there other teams that were in the Badgers' general vicinity of disappointment? I saw BYU lost. North Carolina lost.
I would say North Carolina blew a 19-point lead to VCU. They're talking about firing their coach out there.
Hubert
that
Davis.
would be the only one, I think. That's probably the only one on the same plane as what. And Wisconsin's loss, I mean, their student radio team is getting all kinds of love. They did a great job. Love the enthusiasm. They're blown up virality.
High
all
points or
today.
Wisconsin's?
High points. No, high points.
Okay.
What do you mean Wisconsin's? We got a gut punch of a loss. Maybe that's good too. I haven't seen the
I don't
broadcaster
know.
cam on that.
Right.
But it's everywhere on social media. High Point's getting all the love. And, hey, man, to the victor go the spoils. This is how the world works. So we can sit here and cry about it. But we're going to take it because that's how this works.
So the better seeds that lost yesterday, Georgia as an 8 seed, Ohio State as an 8 seed.
8, 9
St. Mary's as a 7 seed. BYU is a 6 seed, and we know BYU a year ago.
Playing Texas.
And then North Carolina as well.
Yeah, my interest in this tournament just wavered to the point of I'm not sure how much I'm even going to watch the rest of the way, if I'm being honest with you.
I appreciate you being honest with me. Let's get to more of your calls. 844-770-3776. Let's go out to North Carolina. High Point is in North Carolina?
Dude, High Point is basically a school to learn how to deal with wealthy people. That's what High Point does. They feed steaks. They're sitting on airplanes, learning how to talk to people on airplanes. Like, I don't know if this is all propaganda or what, but the more I'm seeing about High Point, the more I'm thinking.
The less you like them?
Oh, what an operation they got going out there. You get steak dinners for like $10. The whole thing seems like quite a racket.
Well, let's talk to Jeremy in North Carolina. Hopefully he's a High Point alum. Jeremy, good morning. How are you?
No, I'm not a High Point alum. I wish. But still, I feel basically the same. And it goes along to like what Tausch has been saying all last year about the Green Bay Packers. I know like every season and every team is different, so we're talking on the macro level. But like I remember when we had Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, whether it was 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, we could never get a first down. Never when they ran the ball. Like, it took us to bring in Josh Jacobs to get a 3rd or a 4th and 1. And last year, I remember, was the first time he got stopped, and I was shocked. But, like, I believe we play cute, and rather than now with the offenses, we can't get a stop when we absolutely need it. And it's heartbreaking because you have overcome your deficiencies as a team, which you know you have, but yet you weren't able to do anything during the season to fix them, whether that's coaching or whether that's getting a special teams returner. But yes, I feel like we can't win the one-on-one matchup where everybody knows what you're going to do and they can't stop it. Or we know what you're going to do and there's nothing you can do because we're going to stop you. So that's what I got, gentlemen.
First of all, I like your perspective, and good luck with your attempts to join the High Point Alumni Association, Jeremy. But look, I guess I find myself asking another question when it comes to all this, and that is that I'm going back to the coaching thing that Tausch said, and our horse's hinder call from earlier. Who was that? Was that Josh and Kenosha? Was that Paul and Keel? I think it was Paul.
Paul and Keel.
I guess my question is like the apex of the horse's hinder coach or the tough guy coach is Dan Campbell, right? Is that fair?
I think
what has he won?
Yeah. But, again, expectations matter. They were the bottom of the bottom for 40 years.
Right.
So
which that would be way worse than what we have.
What do you mean?
Being that bad for that long. The Packers were in the 70s and 80s.
I would agree.
So no one wants to go back to that. I'm looking at, because I was curious about between Super Bowl winners and Final Four teams. Like there's these occasional kind of flash in the pan or caught lightning in a bottle teams like NC State a couple years ago, someone mentioned when they called earlier. But like there sure do seem to be a lot of blue bloods. And then there's these years where something really crazy happens, like San Diego State and Florida Atlantic both make the Final Four. But like again, are the Badgers a blue blood who went to the Final Four in 2014 and 2015? No, they're not.
Here's what I would say, and I think this is the part from our standpoint. You're not going to win every year. We're not New England Patriots days. I think those days are, what the Chiefs have done. Football might be a little bit different. Basketball, especially in this day and age, it's going to be next to impossible. You have to catch lightning in a bottle. But what this is just a continuous reminder of is when you get the opportunity, when you get Duke up 9 with 10 minutes to go, you got to close it. When you have Seattle down 16-0, you got to close it. Because you get these opportunities, and sometimes it's going to go your way, sometimes it's not. But when it is, you can't give it away. And I'm not saying that we gave it away against Duke. I'm saying a lot of things, but that was a championship team that should have won. That was not an expectations thing. That was one. And the Milwaukee Bucks, for all of the angst and the fact that, the ownership group today came out and said, Giannis, you either sign or we're trading you, which is, I think, the right move. Giannis did get it done. Giannis found a way to get a 50-burger in a Game 6 when we needed him to close up shop. He did. When we needed to go down to Phoenix and get a game, we do the Valley-oop and we do all the things. We made the plays when they were there. If that hadn't happened, can you imagine how miserable we'd be as Wisconsin sports fans? Because then we'd be sitting here, we wasted Giannis, and we only got one with Rodgers, and we didn't get any with Braun and Fielder and Yelly. And it just continues to pile up, and you get a sense that it gets harder because your fan base, while you're not listening to everything, you get a feel for how your fans are feeling. That's why I love doing this show. That's why I love getting reactions, is you get that feeling. Players and coaches and organizations aren't making decisions because of that, but they want to satiate your fans because that makes them spend more money, more invested. And right now, our fans are at that point where they're like, we ever going to get over the hump again in anything?
Yeah.
Because we're right there, but we just can't get over that hump. And nobody has any great answers to what hump getting over is going to look like.
And we talk about this all the time, but sports talk radio specifically is very tribal. It is very localized. We talk about Wisconsin sports teams, right? I mean, Evan and Canty and Michelle, they have the more national perspective. So you could be tuned in Albuquerque or Madison or somewhere in between, and they're talking about everything. I think there's probably plenty of other fan bases that have frustrations with their teams, but some of them is we're just crappy in everything, right? Like that's one version of frustration. Another version of frustration is we're middling. We're just always 8-8, or we're always 500. Our NBA team is always 500. Then there's what Wisconsin fans are feeling, which, again, like the Dallas Cowboys haven't even been to an NFC championship game in 30 years. America's team has not even made a conference championship game. The 49ers, I watched that documentary, Rise of the 49ers. What the hell have they done? They've made a couple of Super Bowls in the last 25 years, but they, again, if you're a San Francisco fan, you're like, what does it take to get over the hump, right? I'm sure they were disappointed with their team and the way the playoffs went. They had a lot of injuries, but they were still in that. Yep. Like, I just think we're not the only ones that are frustrated. But
I agree with that.
Every version of that frustration is a little bit different. All right, we'll get to more of your calls coming up because I know we've got a bunch of them, and I want to be respectful of your time. Want to remind you before that, though, that I'm down here in Milwaukee. I might have to swing by Rockin' Brews, get my favorite salmon, because you don't need to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is waiting right here in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with this day. I'm not staying down here. I'm going back afterward, but they've got the biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites that are perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big. And you're only steps away from everything that's happening inside. And I love the food there. And you've got plenty of options. Premium steaks at Dream Dance Steakhouse, pizza, burritos, quick bites at the marketplace. Rockin' Brews, my favorite, for their high-energy vibe and for their salmon. Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company. Food and drink specials happening all the time at all those places. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich
Launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spirit wear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spirit wear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spirit wear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Feeling lucky? Then roll into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee this March for Lucky Rollers. Every Thursday, we're giving away over $70,000 in prizes. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries, and you can roll out with $550 in reward play. Or get lucky and win your share of $16,000 in cash. Lucky Rollers, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Eight 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Let's get back to it. Let's start with Jamie in Waukesha. Jamie, good morning. Thanks for holding on, buddy. What do you got for us?
Hey, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
We're okay. Yeah, we're all right.
Okay. Tausch, you
not
sound a little discouraged, my friend.
Tausch is
I am discouraged.
He's not okay.
Jamie, I'm trying. Listen, man. I am sad. I wanted to see this run go. I'm getting a little bit of, people on my side, and kind of there's just a lot of discouragement amongst our sports fans, and that doesn't make me feel good. So, Jamie, I appreciate you keeping me honest.
Understandable. Yes, sir. After all is said and done, I love being a fan. It's a roller coaster ride. They're not going to win it every year. They might be in it. Yeah, enjoy the ride. Only one team out of the NCAA finals, one fan base is going to be, we won, we're champions, we're holding the globe or whatever they hold up.
Yeah.
NFL seasons, there's just 31 other team fan bases that are just plain out disappointed. I, as a fan, would much rather enjoy, I much rather enjoy being in it every year, having a 7 seed every year. It's not a goal. You want
Get your heart ripped out in January every year.
Exactly. Just postpone it a little bit. I'm looking at the long term. Look, once one fan base is only one team can win. That's the way sports works, and I'm glad to be a fan. I'm happy to be a fan, and it's a roller coaster ride, so enjoy it. Yeah, you get discouraged. Yeah, you get disappointed. But that's sports. That's why it's fun being a fan.
Jamie, quick question before we let you go, and thanks for the call. And but if you're on a roller coaster and you get if you get thrown off the roller coaster, you still glad you rode the roller coaster?
I don't think that's what the analogy is.
What is
the analogy?
The ups and downs of
I'm searching for
the ups and downs of the season.
Yes,
the downs. Parsons goes down.
Yeah.
The ups. Having the 1 seed as the Brewers. There's an up. Downs, injuries. Enjoying the ride. It's a very slight chance of getting tossed off a roller coaster. I'll still enjoy the roller coaster knowing.
Okay.
Tausch, you still get on the roller coaster, don't you?
If I can fit, yep. If there's ones that fit, yep.
If I can fit. And you've been in it. I mean, you've been in the arena. I don't know if you're wired a little bit different.
I'll say this, Jamie. Yep, I'll say this, Jamie. There is no doubt. I know, there's gut punch losses. Oostburg, 4th and 26, the 2007 championship game that stick with you forever. But I'll tell you what, I'd so much rather that great win against Seattle, the feeling you have with that, the great feeling you get when you beat Dodgeville in double overtime. You can't have one without the other. You have to be willing to do it. And I would much rather do that than finish 11-11, get knocked out in the regionals, or not even make the playoffs. Give me that all day, every day, and any athlete that tells you any different ain't worth a lick. I'm going to tell you that right now.
The athlete part.
Boom.
Yes, the athlete part. Yes, sir.
Fans can feel differently, though. Yep. And thanks for the call, Jamie. And Jason, you remember this conversation we had with TC back in the day. Fans, sometimes it is easier to compartmentalize when you have Gooch playing right guard and Ladarius Gunter guarding Julio, and you get stomped. That's a lot easier to swallow than the debacle up in Seattle. Like that's just the reality of being a fan. But I'll tell you this: you think Green Bay, even though we ended up getting smoked by the Falcons, you think they'd rather have lost to Dallas the week before? So lose by 10? And, no, of course not.
And the way they won that game in Dallas? But the key is not to forget, and what a great call. It seems to me that Jamie maybe had our breakthrough for you a little bit there. Because your point about beating Dodgeville in double overtime or winning that Seattle game after you go down 14-0, and Ryan Grant has those fumbles. That is part of the journey too. His discussion of the riding the roller coaster is not. See, I told you there's a delay. It's not about getting thrown off the roller coaster. I'm not a roller coaster guy. I know that comes as a surprise. But do you enjoy the drop? Like, is that enjoyable, or is that
That's
terrifying?
why you do the roller coaster. No,
okay, well,
if you love roller coasters, that's why you do it.
The drop if you're going to enjoy that on the roller coaster, you have to at least tolerate it when it happens to you as a fan. Then
I'll say this though, and the reason I said you get thrown off the road, yeah, it's a small percentage. Go back and look at that NFC Championship game in 14. That was a real small percentage. We're going to lose that game too. That was getting thrown. That wasn't, the roller coaster stopped and you had to stay up on top for an hour and a half. That was literally, we did one of those whip-de-whirls, and old boy just fell out and fell to his and collapsed, and boom. That's what happened in that. That's a whole different animal than just going on a roller coaster. So I get it. I don't want to be all morbid here, but that's the reality of how that happened.
Mm-hmm. Let's take another call, 844-770-3776. Again, thanks to everybody that stayed on hold. We do have a few spots open still. If you want to call in, 844-770-3776. Let's go to Don from the UP. Don, good morning. How are things in the UP there, hey?
Hey, Wilde and Tausch. They're all right. We got like 47 inches of snow last weekend, I think. At least up here, we're over 300 now for the year.
I appreciate you putting that in the 26 inches in perspective.
Is that snowblower material, or is that all shovel, Don?
That's a John Deere, baby. That's what we got to do. We're not snow blowing. We're using a tractor.
Nice.
It's crazy to be doing that with a walk behind. You'll kill yourself. Yeah.
Oh, not Jason.
Do with a shovel.
I didn't. Jason.
Don, what do you got for us? What do you got for us, Don?
So I'll be honest. I'm not a Wisconsin fanboy per se, but really, like, my affinity is that I'm more of a Michigan hater, and you can't spell scum without U of M, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm on board with that. I kind of like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're so smug.
My take's a little different, and I'm wondering if either of you believe there's validity maybe in playing a mid-major more often during the regular season. Like, it's easy to get, like, your players to show up when you're playing a team from Michigan that doesn't start with a cardinal direction on a Tuesday night, in January. But, like, if you play someone like a High Point, whose name, like, makes as much sense as, what was that, East Bay out of Wisconsin? Or out of
Oh, yeah, they had good gear, though.
They had great gear, but East Bay is like a very commonly known name in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? In Santa Clara.
Yeah, they weren't east, nor were they on a bay, I don't think. Yeah.
Correct. I don't think so. And really, northwestern Wisconsin, I suppose. But and don't get me wrong, like, Wisconsin's regular season schedule is a gauntlet, but, like, it's a Big Ten, man. This is like what you sign up for and expected when you sign that letter of intent to be a Badger. It's like you're going to play against the big boys all season long. So something I was thinking about, you want to bake in some adversity, like, why don't you schedule UWGB and make it artificially tougher than it has to be on purpose? And you play it up in Green Bay a day or after you play Michigan or Michigan State at home, with limited rest, and you go play somebody that you should beat the brakes off of. And if you get humbled,
get a little tournament experience during the season.
That's right. That's right. And you learn a lesson because newsflash, you're not going to be playing a Big Ten team in the first round.
No, you're not.
You're just not. You're going to be playing somebody who's, and this is no slight at St. Norbert's, but I would bet that High Point's season attendance is probably pretty close to what St. Norbert's draws for their basketball games. Probably 600-800, maybe a little bit.
St. Norbert's a hockey school. St. Norbert's a hockey school.
But exactly. This is a Division I school now who's used to having 600 people show up, or like a St. Peter's or Florida Gulf Coast or whomever, Sir Lay Dickinson. We can go through the list of all those schools, right? But those schools are used to having 600 or 800 people show up, and now all of a sudden, and what does the Kohler Center hold? Probably 15,000, 14,000. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's in that ballpark. Yeah.
Right, and I don't know what the tournament draw was, but probably close to that. So these guys are playing in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of their lives, the biggest game of the program's life, and it's literally a game where Wisconsin doesn't. It's kind of a play down game, like, hey, regular day, we got to show up, we got to beat this team, we move on. And
all right.
If I'm not wrong, like, you go back to 2015-16, like a damn good 3-loss Wisconsin team played an undefeated Western Michigan team in the Cotton Bowl. And Western Michigan gave them just about everything they could, that Wisconsin could handle. And that Wisconsin team probably had a shot to win the national championship. They're probably 30 points away collectively from doing that year. But, play a couple of these majors. Roll the dice. You got nothing to lose.
Thanks for the call.
Games to still get in.
Yep. Then go to
Thanks for the call. Here's what I'm going to say. There is no benefit to Wisconsin playing Miami, Ohio, Miami University, Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Louis, because you're not getting any of the benefits of it, and you're only going to end up losing these Ken Pom points and everything else. You're not benefiting. So until they figure that out, High Point should be pissed. I got no problem with them yelling about that yesterday. Miami University, nobody will go play them because it doesn't benefit them. So Wisconsin's better suited going to play Villanova down at Fiserv. If they lose, it's like, well, it's Villanova, okay. Marquette, that's just a natural game. But they're going to go play in these big boy holiday tournaments, and then they're going to go through a gauntlet of Big Ten basketball. And you're going to mix 2 or 3 other big ones in, and then we want Cupcake City at home to get the revenue, to get the season tickets, and to get wins, so that we have a strong resume, so that if in case we have more hiccups in the Big Ten, we'll still get in. Because Auburn, and I'm not sitting here defending Pearl and anything else, but if they had won more non-conference games and are 21-12 rather than 16-15, they're probably getting in. So it benefits them not to do it. This is, the system that is set up, and that's why these big boy mid-majors are going to have a hard time scheduling the big boys, because it doesn't behoove the big boys to do it.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We'll get to more of your calls after I remind you. I'm in the Gruber Law offices, or at least I'm Gruber Law offices, one call, That's All Studios adjacent here at the 3rd Street Market Hall and the Avenue. And we know what David Gruber does. He wins your case, and he does a lot of things in our communities. But if you need him to win your case, you need to make the call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law offices, one call, that's all. More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless, and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And now, through March 22nd, our listeners can get 40% off all Iron Jock hoodies with the code HOODIE40. That's HOODIE40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick. Your email said you had a big surprise. Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Ever more.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for. Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $1498 with a 1-carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Back to the phones we go as we compartmentalize and try to understand the disappointment that not only the Badgers men's basketball team delivered with its loss to High Point, but the Packers' losses that have piled up over the years in the postseason. The Bucks since their title. The Brewers, who seem to overachieve based on market size, but eventually punch out before they get to a World Series. Haven't been back since 1982, their only World Series appearance in franchise history. And why? And how do you feel about that? Let's get back to your calls. 844-770-3776. Let's go to Steve in Pewaukee. Steve, good morning. Thanks for holding on, buddy. What do you got for us?
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for you guys and everything you do. I was listening to you this morning. I was listening to KBN and Ben Brust yesterday afternoon, and I have 2 comments regarding the Badgers. The first one is, Ben made the point that we need a defensive stopper. We need somebody who can go out and defend, and I disagree with that. I think if you watch Iowa State defend, if you watch Nebraska defend, they don't have all-world defenders, but they are connected, and they play well together, and they defend well. And I don't think the Badgers do that. And I think the transition away from the swing to their offensive identity, they've forgotten their defensive identity. And I think that's coaching and schematics. And the second
they
thing,
certainly didn't get back
Tauscher,
the way they needed to yesterday.
Well, and I'll say this before you continue. Nolan Winter, I think especially early on, he sprained his ankle pretty badly, missed a couple weeks. There were too many easy layups yesterday, and that's sliding your feet, helping. I don't know. He ended up playing a lot more than I think we had hoped because of the way the game played out. But we had a short bench, and I don't know how much of that. There's no doubt the defense all season, it did get better in spurts, but it was not up to the standard of where Greg Gard wanted it for most of the year. Continue on.
Yeah, and the second point, and I think this plays into the defensive point, is being connected. And I think Frank tried to make that point yesterday, and Tausch, you brought that up today. But if you go and analyze Otzelberger at Iowa State, he spends an inordinate amount of time in the summer getting his team connected. They spend a lot of time working on getting to know each other and being connected. And when you can get guys like Milan Milanovic to defend, okay, that goes a long way to having a great team. And I think in the world of NIL and portal transfers, more emphasis needs to be on making these guys connected. So that's my 2 points. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, thanks for the call.
Great points, and that was what jumped out at me when I heard Frank on the Yuengling call-in line. It's hard to do that now. It's getting more and more difficult, and you can have guys running hills and sprints, but what made that 14 and 15, both of those teams, so special is there's a lot of love. Like those guys, you look at Brusty, he is, him and Gosser and Frank, like that group, that's a bond. You don't get that in a couple of months. That's something you build together, and that's where if you can try and keep 3 or 4 guys as your core together, and then you bring guys in that are adaptable and can, kind of fit what you're looking for. But it's not as easy. And Otzelberger, or whatever his name is down at Iowa State, that's great that you can do that. But he's going through the same issues, right? And he's not assured they're going to be a Sweet 16 team. Yeah, they're a 2 seed, so they'll probably get there. But we don't know.
They've had some disappointments under TJ as well.
Yeah, so it is really difficult to get, and I do think that's where you see the biggest, I guess, gaps in what's hard for a program. And the football team, it's the same thing. Like, you have things you've developed. You are a developed team in an era that doesn't really push development. One of the things that jumped out at me about what Greg Gard said all year was, you have to give a little grace early in the year because it's our job as coaches to develop and get these guys better within our system because they're not here as a freshman that can't guard and they get better and stronger. They're here for 6 months and they're gone. And you better as a coach, and there's no doubt, I don't care the biggest guard haters today, you can't sit here and tell me from October to yesterday this team didn't get better because they did. Mm-hmm. But they didn't get that connectivity and defensively. Like, it wasn't consistent enough. And I don't know how you change that with these rules. I just don't. That's not an excuse. It's just the reality of where college sports are right now.
844-770-3776. We will get to more of your calls. So Chris in Muskego and Dave in Atlanta, you guys are up next. Before we can get to more of your calls, I need to tell you about Thanalysis Live. And now, what a bargain we've got going. You buy one, and we buy the other. Not Tausch and I, ESPN Wisconsin. Thanalysis Live is one of the biggest nights in Wisconsin sports, and we don't want anyone to miss out. So you buy one ticket, and ESPN Wisconsin is going to buy the other. Be there for the night that will have everyone talking. March 27th at the Riverside Theater. Thanalysis Live, completely unpredictable show with Thanasis Antetokounmpo and surprise guests. And I don't think they're a surprise anymore. Not only Ric Flair, woo, but Pat Murphy and The Miz?
Murph?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You're not.
Go to TALiveshow.com. That's TALiveshow.com to get your tickets. Enter the code. This is almost as long as the abbreviation for DeMarcus Covington's new job titles with the Packers. ESPN WIBOGO. ESPN WIBOGO at checkout. Then you'll get that buy one, get one on us deal for the tickets. The Stars will be out. Woo! And so should you. Buy one, get one for Thanalysis Live March 27th at the Riverside Theater. TALiveshow.com. More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Remember how you felt when you were 25? Your morning workouts were a breeze. You had a drive that kicked in way before your first cup of coffee. Does it feel like you're losing your edge? You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back to being the guy you used to be. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
aftermath of the University of Wisconsin men's basketball team's 83-82 loss to High Point, which was undeniably a low point yesterday. But we're extrapolating that out in terms of how you feel about Wisconsin sports in general, as many teams make postseason qualification. Unfortunately, they don't win titles. And how does that make you feel? And are you discouraged?
Net positive, net negative. Is it great to be a Wisconsin sports fan?
How do you answer your own question?
Well, I asked the question, so why don't you answer, and then I will. I think it's a positive.
I don't know. I'm not a Wisconsin sports fan.
As a Wisconsin sports fan, I'd say net positive for sure.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be a Wisconsin sports fan than a Cleveland sports fan.
Or Minnesota.
Exactly. Chicago.
Like, I would think if I'm ranking states where I would fall as a sports fan, I think Wisconsin's top 5. We have great moments. We have great players. We have, on the whole, pretty good organizations. I think obviously Boston, Massachusetts, I would probably put tops. They've gotten it.
LA's up there.
Yeah.
Dodgers, Rams.
I don't want to put California. Yeah, I don't want to put California in there, but it's just too dang big. Do you put Texas? I don't. Even though San Antonio's got all those championships. State of Florida, you probably got to put ahead of us.
I don't think Wisconsin is different because it has the Packers in Green Bay and the Bucks and the Brewers and the primary university elsewhere. I would say I wouldn't do states. I would do areas. So your Boston one I agree with, but like not only is California too big, but Texas, like there's Houston fans, there's Dallas fans, like they've got multiple.
Okay. Well, if we're doing it that way, if we're going to do it that way, I'm not sure how many places you're going to put ahead of the state. And this sounds crazy because we're all discouraged and disappointed and sad and angry and mad and every dwarf that you can put out there, we're feeling it. We're top 5. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Don't think you're wrong.
I can't ask Jason because he's not a fan, and he has no. So I can't ask Jason, but
no bias either.
No, I would say this. I would say the fact that there's even the consideration that you'd rather not be a Wisconsin sports fan. This is the best thing you've done today, is to put it in perspective of comparing it, which is what I've been trying to do from time to time during this conversation. Like, would you rather not be what's that face for?
What have you been trying to do?
We just talked about.
Wait a second.
We talked about Detroit. We talked about Cleveland. We talked about all these different places. Would you rather be the Dallas Cowboys who haven't been to an NFC Championship game? Do you want me to recap the entire show for you?
Sure, I'd love to because I don't recall this. But when you start looking at this in the big picture, it's always tough right after a gut punch. But the discouragement and the fact that people are feeling like it's a car accident, more people want to go from point A to point B without getting in a car accident. They'd rather just get there. And we have had car accidents.
Or they can stay in their house and not go anywhere at all.
Well, that's where you would fall. So that's, I guess, the tricky part of this. I don't know how everybody does. Everybody has different opinions. When it's ripe, when it's at its rawest, which today is a raw day, after the Bears game, raw day, we feel a certain way.
Let's talk to Chris in Muskego. Chris, good morning. Welcome to Wilde Tausch. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I don't want to get into the whole Wisconsin sports thing because I love them, but I just want to talk about the Badgers. I think Greg Gard's got to change his recruiting process. I mean, ever since they had Frank Kaminsky, who they got, and that kid worked his butt off, and he developed over a couple of years till he got his chance. He had an inside game. He had an outside game. He could move his feet. He could jump. He could block shots. They've tried to duplicate that ever since. You look at their bench, and all their bigs are the same, slow-moving, can't move their feet. They can shoot the three, but they can't jump worth a darn. He needs to get athletes. It's just like the kid said at the halftime from the other college. We're going to beat them because we have better athletes. We got burnt so many times on quick little passes going to the lane because we can't move our feet until Greg Gard decides to start making his base with athletes and filling in where he needs guys in the portal. They're not going to get past beyond because they don't have the athletes that can move. They can jump. They can jam the ball down the hoop. They can block shots. They can shoot from the outside. He's just getting guys that fill a role like, okay, you can shoot from the outside and maybe you'll get a rebound or two. They don't have guys that can jump. How many times have you seen Nolan Winter actually dunk the ball? I think he's maybe dunked the ball 7 times in his whole career. He hasn't developed a real inside game his whole time here. He's got to recruit athletes and not just guys, because you look at their bench and they're nothing but clones of one another. Coming up that he recruits from Minnesota, from Illinois, they're all the same ball players. He doesn't put in solid athletes. That's my take.
All right. Well, it's an interesting
Thanks for the
take.
call,
And
Chris.
I'll say this. Frank wasn't a great athlete. Frank could shoot from the outside. Right? I don't think Frank rebounded, but Frank was not a monster. Nobody's going to sit here and tell you Frank's the greatest athlete in the world. But there are different – this season, and I think especially at the end when Nolan got hurt, and I don't think Nolan is as bad of an athlete as our caller just did, but we got out-rebounded by a team that wasn't bigger than us yesterday. We did get out-quicked, and we didn't have a ton of rim protecting. Part of that is you got to go out and you're asking these bigs to play pick-and-roll basketball, to cover the three-pointer, and then to sink and rebound. That's hard. Obviously, High Point looked at it yesterday and said we are crashing hard on the boards because we got a lot of free layups the other way yesterday too. They thought it was worth it, and it was the secret sauce for one of the big reasons we lost yesterday is because we didn't win the offensive rebound battle. And would it be great to have some guys that jump out the gym and don't get every rebound? But in the same respect, I like having bigs that can shoot threes. So what I'd love is a big that is just a freak athlete that shoots 38, 45% from three. Good luck trying to find that guy. And then good luck trying to pay that guy. And then good luck trying to keep that guy. And then good luck trying to have depth being able to do that. So, yeah, I can't argue the general point that athleticism and, being able to close out and do different things was something that we missed this year because we did. And it really reared its ugly head, I thought, with Nolan not being 100% yesterday.
We need to get to the 11 o'clock hour, which will include trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. That'll start in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
An uninspired cookie-cutter trade show booth is unlikely to move the needle.
Picture this. Lights, motion, energy, engagement. A space so bold it stops people mid-step.
That's what the award-winning team at Captivate Exhibits has been delivering for over 30 years.
From high-impact trade show exhibits to immersive lobbies, history walls, and culture-driven interiors, Captivate transforms ordinary square footage into unforgettable brand experiences.
Get started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions apply.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall. Home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination, 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall with 24 beers on tap, over 50 HD TVs, and of course, game day specials. It's the perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is the downtown home to basketball this March.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The 11 o'clock hour will be Tausch. Begins now. Great feedback from our fans today. Lots of calls. We're not going to even get to them all. We haven't even gone through the texts, which I'm sure are inundated if the YouTube comments are indicative of how strongly people feel. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have put their thoughts into written versions of their takes. Let's get to one last phone call, though. Let's go to Dave in Atlanta. Dave, welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much. A little depressed about yesterday. Boy, that was tough. But my only two quick comments is I think there's two kinds of – there's like a depth of depression about something, and there's different kinds of being disappointed about stuff. Yesterday was more like just this consistent punch to the face, like they'd get a layup and we'd kind of catch up or make our guards do all the work and just not enough. That was just if they were in the game and you just get punched in the face over and over. But it's like, to me, the Packers have a little different type of deeper gut punch because it can often come down to one guy, one play, like Bostic messing up the onside kick, like Dobbs messing up the onside kick. I mean, that's not like coaching. It's just like one guy making a critical mistake at the end of a game, or that doesn't happen as much, at least to me, in basketball. Chris Webber calling a timeout maybe, or a guy missing a free throw. But the Packers, the Packers are even more frustrating because you can coach a guy, you can keep a guy on the roster, it can be good most of the time, and then they screw up at a critical time, like I said, the 4th and 26, right? I mean, that to me is a deeper gut punch, whereas the Badgers yesterday, I'm sure some people are thinking, okay, why doesn't Gard do something about it? Why doesn't he change up to a 1-3-1? Why doesn't he, change a defense or do something different? The only thing I would say is, at least to me, those coaches know when things are going wrong, and they spent their whole lives trying to fix it. So they know what's going on. It's like you're not smarter than the coach. Gard knows exactly what's going on. But in the case of like LaFleur, I think he's a great coach, and he's had critical guys screw up. Ryan Grant fumbling, our number 8 fumbling in the Bears game. And to me, like I say, different levels, High Point is not a big rival of the Badgers. They're not. Chicago, they are. To me, that means a little more. That would be my 2 cents.
There you go.
Good call, Dave. We appreciate it. I would say what I think is interesting about that call, and then if we back up a step to the previous call, the Frank Kaminsky related one. Look, you're hung up on some clown from the 60s, man. That era does not exist anymore, right? The Frank Kaminsky type player is not developing at Wisconsin. I mean, maybe if. No, maybe so.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I do think that there's a chance. If you're somebody like Frank, is it more likely that you'll have to go to an Iona to get started, just like in football,
Correct.
where you'll have to? Yeah, do I think like the Nolan Winter and the Blackwells who have been here, if they can contribute right away, you're seeing pretty much all these highly recruited freshmen. If they don't play a bunch, they leave. And that is the tough part of where Gardo's at, because this has always been a Ben Brust, Gosser, Frank, we're going to get these guys so much better year after year. And you don't have the time and the patience to wait for that anymore. Like, if Frank Kaminsky is a freshman, he ain't helping that team yesterday, right? No. And what are you going to – you're going to bank that he's going to get a lot better? I mean, God bless it that he did, but your job's on the line. And if you're banking on a guy and some guy from the 60s you're right, man. It is a tough needle to thread of developing guys and getting 4 or 5 years and building that connectivity and saying, we got to microwave this bad boy because we can't sit and let this thing bake in the oven for 3 days.
And it's not. I am not in any way being dismissive of people's disappointment. Right? I was texting with Mike Kelly afterward, and I mean, he cares so deeply about this program like you do. He was gutted by that. And but at the same time, you have the ball in the hands of your best player, and if he somehow makes that shot instead of them converging 3 defenders on him, if he somehow teardrops it over everybody and it swishes through the net and you win 84-83, our conversation is today, whew, can you believe what that came down to against High Point, right? It is, to Dave's point, it's those one plays, and that's the reality of postseason sports. And if you don't make that one play, if you don't get that 4th and 26 stop, if Ryan Taylor is on the team instead of Brandon Bostic, and he doesn't try to field the onside kick and he lets Jordy catch it, because Ryan Taylor made that mistake earlier in his career, and he would have never done that in Seattle, then you're in the Super Bowl. That's the reality of these games. And I don't know what they would have done against Arkansas if they advanced. I don't know if they, like, are we, let's say they escape against High Point and then get beat by Arkansas by 10.
Nah, there's the narrative, unfortunately, has been we haven't been to the second week.
No, rightfully so. Right.
Yeah,
2017.
So would it have been more palatable if Arkansas beat us? Yeah. But we still would be having conversations about disappointment.
No doubt.
And what are we doing? And is Greg Gard the guy? And those conversations, only way that wasn't going to happen is if this team got to Sweet 16, Elite 8. Even then, depending on how that would have went. Had Arizona beaten us, I think everybody would have been like, good year. Building some things.
Right.
Gardo really knows how to handle the portal. When you lose to High Point, unfortunately, the way it happened, that is not the conversation.
No,
that's not the narrative.
Nor should it
and
be.
It sucks. No, I don't disagree. You're right.
Let's play some trivia. Double trivia. Does that mean, Riley, you got to write all 6 questions?
I don't know if it... I'm not sure Riley's up for that.
I didn't write all 6 questions. I just wrote 3 of them.
Did you have one of your Tier 1 friends do the other 3?
No, we're just using the questions that Jesse wrote yesterday that didn't get used.
We're recycling.
Yes.
That seems fair.
Yes.
Upcycling. Okay,
yes.
Fair enough.
No, it's going to be all about High Point, unfortunately. And then it's probably not a great fit for today.
We will take caller 8 and caller 16. Neither of which are the rounds that the Badgers will be playing in this tournament, unfortunately. Caller 8 and caller 16. I did not want to ask for caller 32.
32.
No, indeed. Caller 8 and caller 16, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We will play trivia after Tausch tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, our homes, they need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin year-round. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything that they do. The right windows and doors can vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. And with Pella, You will get expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and within your budget. Don't miss out on that 0% financing all the way for 6 years, 2032. Offer ends on the 31st of March. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Terrific 20, 30, 20, 20, 30, 32. Caller 8 and caller 16 play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Join Cousins Club Rewards today. Grab your first sub and your next one could be free. After your first qualifying purchase, you'll earn a free sub and start collecting points for free food, exclusive deals, and even Cousins gear. Sign up today. It's fast and easier than ever on the Cousins Subs app. Earn points online, on the app, or in store. However you enjoy Cousins Subs, your rewards are right at your fingertips. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
It's that time of year again. Brackets are busted, games are on all day, and everybody's gathering for college hoops. And whether your picks are perfect or already toast, you can still win with Sendix. Make it easy. One stop and you've got everything for your party. Start with Sendix homemade gourmet burgers. Top quality ground chuck, tons of variety, just $7.99 a pound. And their homemade brats for only $4.99 a pound, and you've got a crowd pleaser. Then hit the deli. Sendix loaded potato salad is $4.99 a pound, and their signature Pinza pizzas are just $9.99 each. Loaded with toppings and seriously good. And don't miss the Slam Dunk Cheese Curd event, happening tomorrow and Sunday from 10 to 4. Dozens of flavors like habanero, Bloody Mary, even pizza. You can build your own sampler. Game day or any day, get everything you need at Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
At Associated Bank, we get life gets complicated. So banking, it should be easy to get. That's why our tools speak your language. Automated savings, it's saving automatically for anything. Digital controls, you lose your card, you're still in control. Turn it off, then on, all on the app. And Money Monitor, you know where your money goes, like those long-forgotten subscriptions. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues. If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Playing a little catch matchup here on Wilde and Tausch. In more ways than one, because we're playing trivia not once but twice. Time for trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
Let's welcome in our contestants, plural. Contestant number 1 is Bill from New Berlin. Bill, good morning. How are you today?
Morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're working through it. Some of us more than others. And our second contestant is Scott, and I confirmed this actually exists. This place, Scott from Browntown, not Brown Deer, not Brown County, Browntown. Population 245, according to the 2020 census. Hi, Scott.
Hi.
What does that buy? What does Browntown buy?
Down by Monroe.
Oh, okay. You ever come across... Does Jeff do your taxes? Never mind. All right, here we go. The trivia categories are they're just a combination of questions recycled
It's by
from
Grand
yesterday.
Shoot. I thought it was by Grand Shoot.
Oh, that was clever. Good one.
I was going to go a different way, but I didn't.
Way to dump that in there. Bill, question number 1 is this. Former Green Bay Packers... apparently we're playing Who He Play For. Again, it was so popular when Jesse did this that, Bill, you have drawn the Who He Play For questions. Question 1.
All right.
Former Green Bay Packers running back A.J. Dillon. Who he play for? The Carolina Panthers, the New England Patriots, or the Door County All-Stars?
Who was he signed by? I'll go Patriots.
Unfortunately, he signed with the Carolina Panthers.
I didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, he's going to be playing pickleball at the Pickler in a couple of months too. So we may go.
About that.
Might
Great
have to go
event
see
up
him
there.
there.
At Pickler.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Scott. Question number 1 for you. Number 16 seeded Siena almost upset number 1 Duke in the round of 64 yesterday. What is Siena's mascot? Is it a Saint Bernard, a Chihuahua, or Jesse's dog Mo?
I'm going to guess A.
Saint Bernard, and you know who would know that?
Should
Jeff
have
Hafley,
been a crayon. That has to be crayon.
Burnt Sienna. It is a crayon. You knew that, right?
Well, no,
Burnt
but I'm saying
Sienna?
that should have been that should be their mascot, walking around with a big old crayon. That'd be fun.
Jeff Hafley, an alumnus of Siena. Question 2, Bill, in your category, who he play for. This is something. Former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett just got traded this week.
Carolina.
Now, who he play for? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles, the Seattle Seahawks, or the Carolina Panthers?
Oh, God. Carolina's on there?
Boy, I don't know. Let's go with Carolina.
Good job, because that is exactly right.
No way.
Tell us more about cranberries there, Tausch, and ginseng. Yes, correct. Carolina. You got that one right. Question 2, Scott. McNeese couldn't pull off a second 12-5 upset of the day. McNeese was playing Vanderbilt. What is McNeese's mascot? Is it a Quaker, a Spartan, or a cowboy?
Let's go with a Spartan.
I didn't know this one. It is apparently a cowboy. A cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboys.
All right, question 3. Bill, is this. Men's college basketball national player of the year candidate, A.J. Dibansta?
Oh, yeah.
Dibansta.
Dibansta. Thank you, Riley.
Keep your depants up.
Who he play for? Does he play for Arizona, Texas Tech, or BYU?
Let's go Arizona.
BYU.
Well, if he played for Arizona, he'd still be playing. Unfortunately, he plays for BYU for him because they're done playing. They lost yesterday as a 6th seed to an 11 seed. All right, Scott. Question 3 for you, buddy. Number 9, St. Louis. Number 9 seed, St. Louis, demolished number 8 seed, Georgia, yesterday, 102-77. What is St. Louis University's mascot? Is it a battle hawk, a gale, or a billiken?
Let's go with A.
The St. Louis Battlehawks are the UFL team that they have in St. Louis now. The Billikens are the basketball team. All right, well.
A big win for them.
Everyone ends up in kind of the same place here. Bill, you got one right. You got 2 entries into the drawing, which we've got coming up before the end of the show. Thanks for playing, and we appreciate your loyalty to the show, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
And Scott, thanks for teaching us where Browntown is. Unfortunately, you also only got number 1, not number 2 questions right.
That's good, Jason. That's a good one.
So you'll have 2 entries into our drawing later as well. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good. All right. Love you guys.
Hey, that's my line. That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia. We've got Will Riley coming up after Tausch tells us about Hard Rock Casino, where I believe, what is today? Today's the 20th?
No, today's Friday. You know what Fridays are.
18 days. All I know is Wednesdays at Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah, Wednesdays are great. Fridays are great. Saturdays are great. Sundays are great. It's always great, and especially with everything going on in the sports world right now. Hard Rock Casino Rockford is the place to be, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. They have the great sports book that you can watch the games. If you want to dabble a little. And right now on Fridays, be part of the $40,000 Gold Rush progressive drawings on Fridays throughout the whole month of March, each hour, starting at 11 a.m., which just happened. Fridays, one lucky guest will be selected to win free slot play. The winners have 3 minutes, just thinking, to claim their prize. Drawings will continue until the winner is validated in the final drawing. So play, dine, shop, enjoy all the live shows, and, of course, that great sports book. There is no better weekend to be at the sports book than this one. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90, about 60 minutes from Madison, right down in Rockford, Illinois.
The moment you've all been waiting for. Will Riley, which I guess I didn't clear this with him ahead of time. I'm curious to see if there's a romantic update or not.
Yeah, it's drama. Never know.
Never know.
Oh, boy. We'll find out together next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience. With a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Heck yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for my friends at Robert Hack Diamonds. Listen, when it came to buying an engagement ring for my now fiance, I had no idea what I was doing, which is why I went to the team at Robert Hack. I heard her say words like radiant cut and solitaire, but to be real honest, I didn't really know what that meant. So I wrote it down, I brought it to the team at Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield, and they knocked it out of the park. It's true, if you've never been through this process before, the team at Robert Hack are absolute experts. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 1 in Greenfield, Brookfield South, and Brookfield North. If you're looking to take the next step like I did, and your girlfriend maybe is posting things on her Pinterest page or is showing you pictures, bring it into Robert Hack. They'll do their best to duplicate a dream ring for her, just like they did for my fiance. Moral of the story, if you are like me and you want to start, you just don't really know where, the answer's clear. Visit one of the 3 Robert Hack locations in the Milwaukee area. Just like me, at the end, you'll say, heck yeah, with Robert Hack Diamonds. And RobertHackDiamonds.com, that's RobertHackDiamonds.com.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Time now for Whoa, Riley.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
All right, guys. I mean, before I get started with the topics I had planned, anything you want to know about my love life, anything you're interested in, any questions for me, I can field those first. Because I got no, breaking news or anything like that. Things are going really well. It's been awesome.
Nice.
No.
Awesome.
Well, that's good.
That is good news.
But not as good for content.
Exactly. So,
but great for you. Happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
The VCU head coach also shouted out Young Love in his post-game press conference after beating UNC when he was talking about his student media team. So, just saying, Young Love, it's on the rise, on the come up. Love to see it.
Love it.
All right, Tausch, you alluded to this earlier, but now after the Badgers lost, are you guys watching the rest of the tournament? Like, I'm gonna have it on passively, but my bracket's destroyed. Badgers are out. Even if my bracket was fine with the Badgers out, I don't really care about what happens the rest of the tournament. I'll watch to watch, but I'm not going to be invested. Are you guys invested at all? Are you watching at all?
I'm not invested. I will watch maybe some sparing stuff. I will want to see High Point. I want to see if they can shoot and do what they did against Arkansas, and I think they'll score a bunch of points. But I think they're going to give up a lot more. Yeah, but outside of that, I'll be seeing how the Big Ten fares because obviously we and Ohio State lost yesterday. That will be kind of the last thing that I'm super intrigued by. But, you know, if Duke goes and wins the national championship, am I going to be excited about it? No. If Michigan wins, am I going to be excited about it? No. The entertainment aspect and those last-minute buzzer beaters, all that stuff, that'll be fun.
Yep.
Outside of that, I'm kind of not as interested.
We'll have the games on all the time. The girls fill out their bracket. Paula fills out hers. I fill out mine. We have some fun with that. And we, you know, as I've said many times, I like to have the TV on when I'm writing. Instead of Law and Order or FBI, it'll be NCAA tournament games wall to wall for the next 3 weeks. Starting today when I get home from Milwaukee, it'll be on when I'm working. So, yeah, I'll have all the games on, but my investment level does not change.
Okay. As someone that's not a fan, that makes sense. That tracks. All right. So, speaking, you brought up Duke, Tausch. Siena, and this is part of the trivia question, 16 seed Siena only lost to Duke by 8 yesterday, and they had 0 substitutions. Not a single guy outside of the media timeouts and the team timeouts.
Wow.
No one left the floor. No one got a break. Have you guys ever seen that before? And Tausch, is there any football comp to that? Because I've never seen anything like this before. We're just they play the whole
welcome to
game.
the world of being an O-line. You don't come out. We don't have pass blocking specialists. No, we'll come out when we're on flipping around, so it's not the same.
Say when they're on defense, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said. But in that
there's
scheme,
a delay.
yes,
I started to say it while you were talking. Have you not picked up on the delay issue?
Don't be yelling at me because your delay issues. Get all mad after we hang up. Here's the deal. That's probably why they ran out of gas. But in order to stay in it, you have to play your best. You would think they'd have at least a 6 or a 7 guy that they could
at least one.
Spare a minute on a TV timeout.
One
get
other
that
guy.
minute and then get the TV timeout. But, yeah, if you don't, you don't. And Siena gave everything they got. They let it out, and it just wasn't enough.
Jason, any other thoughts?
So their box score has 5 players in it? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. All 5 starters played all 40 minutes.
That's
awesome.
How often has that happened in an NCAA tournament?
No idea. It can't be.
Like
often.
maybe when the Badgers won it in 1941.
They only had 5 guys on the roster. Only guys
That's
on
wild.
the team.
I've never heard anything like that. That is crazy.
Listen, man, I am all for officiating and refereeing. I don't want stuff called. Like, I want to let guys play. But when did we just stop calling traveling?
Great question.
Is it Giannis? They don't call traveling anymore, ever. Like, you literally have to jog.
Did you think there was traveling on the go-ahead basket? On the breakout go-ahead basket?
YouTube comments were discussing this.
That was what I thought when I watched it
There
live.
was-
But again,
well,
I don't know what
today's day
traveling
and
is
age.
anymore.
Not in today's day and age, it's not. But I was watching a little bit of VCU in the Carolina. I mean, there are guys will take, and then there's the collect. You can
gather
restart a dribble. All of it is foolish. Like that's not how it was meant to be. You're supposed to move the basketball by passing. Like our old coach said, if you could pass or shoot, don't dribble. Those days are gone. Now it's if you can travel. And they let them. Like, it should be gone, but it's not. It's rampant. And I think refs are just let them play. Both sides are doing it. Boyd carries the ball a ton.
Yeah.
He carries it all. And that's how you get these great hezzies, as the kids call it. Because you have the ball palmed, and people think you're picking it up to shoot. And they don't call it. So I don't know what else to do about that, but I know that's annoying me, and I wanted to get that off my chest.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
I agree. So where did we settle on the go-ahead basket? Should that have been called traveling? That was that kid's first 2-point basket of the season. It was almost as if he didn't know what to do with the ball within the arc.
Yeah, he almost missed it, too.
Yep.
No, I don't think so. If you're not going to call the other stuff, I don't have a problem with him not calling that.
Okay.
Yeah. How about John Blackwell, 5 seconds after the whistle is blown, gets body slammed on the floor and nothing's called? How is that not something? After the whistle.
Yeah, part of the problem is that you can replay things, but you can't. They aren't calling fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know the inbounds play that everybody's talking about. It got tipped off his finger. It was a great challenge by High Point's coach.
Yep.
That wasn't quite as egregious, but you're watching Nick Boyd got shoved out of bounds, and they called it. And I think the refs just said, well, they shoved him, but the ball went off him, so we'll just give him the ball. We won't call the foul even out. Well, the coach challenges it. You can't say, well, there was a foul on that. That's a possession. Who knows? It was in the first half. But if you're going to do that, you can also, if somebody gets shoved out of bounds and you're going to call it that way, if you get challenged, say, well, yeah, then we're going to call the foul on this guy. It's a slippery slope. I don't love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then if you can challenge foul calls, does that end up like the NFL pass interference rule, where referees just never call anything if it's not called on the floor?
NBA is doing it. But the NBA is doing it, and it seems to be working for the NBA. But I don't want that. I am always going to err on the sides of not calling stuff, but there's some things that's just like, come on, man. Like, those rules are in place for a reason. But I just want to make sure I'm crystal clear on this. We did not lose the game yesterday because of officiating.
Yep.
We did not. It's not. I want to make sure I'm not going to be a whining crybaby. That's not where I'm at. We lost because we didn't execute down the stretch, and we couldn't rebound. That's why we lost.
Yep. Agreed. But there were some bad calls.
Whoa, Nelly! All right, we need to get ready for Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints, and we need Riley to draw our winner for this week's trivia. But before that, I'm going to remind you again about the Walney Legal Group, which specializes in estate planning, and Lord knows I need to do that. Wills, trusts, probate, elder care, which Tausch would joke that I need also, and special needs planning. They offer customized, personalized experiences, not the cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all solutions that some do. They understand that estate planning is an uncomfortable necessity. I know about the uncomfortable, but now I'm starting the process with them because I need to do it, and they will make it smooth, easy, and as painless as possible. They will take care of me from start to finish. Their motto, lawyering the way it should be, with clear communication, expertise, personal service, and a modern approach. So visit walneylegal.com. That is WALNY legal.com to start a conversation no matter what phase you're in. Walney Legal, WALNY legal.com. We'll wrap things up with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the biggest voices, all in one place. The Yuengling Legends Line. Exclusive insight from Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and Game Changers, all on the Yuengling Legends Line.
Frank Kaminsky joining us here on Kyle Bruston-Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Who was your favorite teammate of all time?
The Yuengling Legends Line.
See, it's a baiting question because you want me to say you. You were annoying to play with.
Yingling, now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And now, through March 22nd, our listeners can get 40% off all Iron Jock hoodies with the code HOODIE40. That's HOODIE40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burkhart.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Before we get to Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints, Riley has to pull this week's winner from trivia.
And this week's winner is Mark from, what, in Texas, Plow Jeep? Is that what it says?
Yeah, he's plowing.
Congratulations, Mark. He is our winner.
All right, my feel.
Yeah.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Harry Douglas.
I thought St. John's winning the Big East tournament and convincingly beating UConn twice, once in the regular season and then in the Big East championship game, I thought they were going to be higher than a 5 seed. Not only were they just a 5 seed, UConn, who lost to St. John's twice this season, including in the championship game in the Big East tournament, they're a 2 seed. But not only are St. John's a 5 seed and UConn a 2 seed, Freddie, they're both in the East region.
Don't get me started.
They played 3 times this season already, Freddie.
I know.
Why are these 2 teams in the same region? It makes no sense to me. Let me keep going, though. I got another one for you.
All right.
You have Louisville.
Same region, by the way.
Same region. If Louisville wins their first round game,
and
if Michigan State it wins their first round game, they play each other in the round of 32. Who made this bracket again?
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Every March, are brackets the only thing you can think about? Do you have symptoms such as constant bracket obsession or moderate to severe bracket-related distractions? You may be living with bracket brain. Thankfully, there's ESPN Tournament Challenge, the #1 proven way to treat bracket brain right at the source. So this March, download the ESPN Tournament Challenge app, fill out your men's bracket, and get you